Hello everyone, it's Bex here, and I'm here with author, teacher, coach, Alex Jamieson. I'm so excited to have her here today. We're going to be talking about some really fun and controversial stuff, like always.
Always.
How are you doing today?
I'm great. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning. I love your red hair.
Thank you.
We're going to set the world on fire this morning.
It's cold. It's cold in New York City. I had to turn up the heat a little bit.
It's terrible. But you know
on
what?
my head.
At least we don't have that snow like last year. That was ridiculous.
I'm all right with this.
So we're going to talk about your new book. Congratulations.
Ta-da!
Oh, he took mine off my desk. My husband set up and all of my props are gone. There it is.
That's all right. I got one.
Women,
Here it is.
Food, and Desire. That's a lot of stuff for one little book.
It is. Men like those three things too. So a few dudes have been picking it up as well.
Were they surprised at the contents?
No, they were. You know, it's funny. My partner, Bob, wrote to all of his male friends and said, if you have any discomfort or curiosity about the women in your life and their relationship with their bodies and food, you should get this.
That's
awesome. I thought that was very cool.
That is very sweet of him. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he is.
Today specifically, because what you were talking about a lot online to lead up to the book release were cravings. Yeah. And this is what spawned this book for you. Your own cravings, your own transition from one diet to another, a vegan to a non-vegan diet.
Yeah.
My question for you, because I don't know the difference, can you tell if something is a craving versus a true food addiction or disordered eating?
Well, disordered eating and food addiction, I think, are two very different things.
Okay.
I think disordered eating is, I know very few women in America, at least, who haven't experienced some kind of disordered eating. Mm-hmm. And that is anytime eating is so emotionally fraught or tense or becomes obsessive, or we are on endless diet loops, or we have some kind of body dysmorphia where we look at a picture of ourselves 5 years ago or 10 years ago and think, I was cute, or I looked great. Why was I so freaking worried? Right?
Oh my gosh. Let me tell you though, this hits home for me because just a few days ago, I was talking to a girlfriend of mine, and we're in kind of like a little fitness challenge together. We're trying to just get back in shape and to feel better emotionally and energetically. And I was looking at pictures of myself after I had baby number 4, when I thought that I was disgusting, quite frankly. I mean, that was the language that I was using to describe myself in my head. And I'm looking at myself now and going, I was hot. What was wrong with me? Really?
I know. Remember how hard we all were on ourselves in high school and college, and now you look back and you're like, I was so cute.
I should have been naked all the time. All the time.
Nora Ephron, there's a great quote from Nora Ephron that I put in the book about how, like, if I could go back and talk to my 35-year-old self, like, wear a bikini every day.
Yeah.
Like, go to the beach and show that shit off because you look great. But so in that way, we all have disordered eating.
Yeah.
Because we have this totally different image in our head of what our bodies look like. And then we make decisions about our food based on a fallacy.
Okay.
Food addiction and cravings are two different things, but they can overlap. So any kind of addiction is really any action, behavior, or substance use that starts to impact your life negatively, or you will put aside other things in your life, health-giving things in your life, to indulge in that addiction. So, you know, when we think about like drug addiction, alcoholism, gambling, shopping, like people who have an addiction to those things are so obsessed and so involved in that activity that they've put off other aspects of their life, and their life is starting to deteriorate because of it.
Okay.
So food cravings, I mean, yeah, there are some people who have serious food addictions. You know, I've worked with clients who are also in Overeaters Anonymous, you know, who their eating has become so habitual and has taken over their life that they need a lot of support. And then there's people who call themselves chocoholics,
Right.
who maybe eat chocolate every day, but it's not impacting the rest of their life. Unless, of course, there's always that gray fuzzy area where, maybe you have candida, you have this yeast overgrowth and you're still eating sugar. Like, is that an addiction? It might be. But, I talk about the 4 different root causes of cravings and how important it is to know about your own gut health and the microbiota, all those bacteria in your body and how they affect your health. So there's a little bit of gray area, but they're 2 very different things when you talk about a craving and a food addiction.
Well, let me talk about myself for a second. I'm going to the refrigerator. So this is something that's happened. Maybe yesterday.
Maybe just now before we got on the computer.
Maybe, but it was yesterday. I'm going into the kitchen. I'm going to the refrigerator. My daughter made cookies for her boyfriend. They're in the back. I know I'm not supposed to eat them because they're for her boyfriend. And I find myself not only hiding the fact that I'm eating the cookie from her, because I really wanted a cookie, but I'm hiding it from everyone else too. Mm-hmm. I'm just sneaking the cookie. Then I'm sneaking the other cookie. Then I'm sneaking the third cookie. And I'm craving it. I don't feel addicted to it, but the behavior is kind of odd. It's kind of like not okay. It doesn't feel okay.
Well, there's some shame and some guilt and a little bit of, I'm breaking the rules. Like it's a little fun mixed in with the sugar. There's that bad behavior that I love indulging in bad behavior too. It's exciting. And sometimes, especially at night, a little bit of exciting behavior really lights up those happy places in our brain. So I would not call that an addiction, but there's, and I wouldn't call it disordered eating either. It's a moment where you want something and you have all these conflicting feelings about it. And that's what's so challenging about food, especially for us women, is that it's something we have to do every day, multiple times a day. And there is so much freaking judgment out there about what's good and what's bad and what kind of person you are based on what you eat.
But that's the question. So is the feeling that it's not good, it's the reason I'm hiding because it's inherently bad, or because of the judgment that I know will come if people find out? And that's where I'm asking when it's okay to indulge in your cravings. When do you know it's something that's good for you and your body needs versus something that you're trying to avoid because somebody told you that it was not okay?
Okay.
And I know you ran into this when you transitioned from a vegan diet to not vegan diet,
right?
Because I can't call your diet anything now because you eat intuitively and you eat what you feel is good for you. So when you ran into this, people were like, well, she's having these cravings, but that's just bullshit. It's not what her body needs. And there was a lot of judgment that went along with your new food choices.
Right. And by the way, let me just say that I kind of became the vegan confessional booth, and I still have women coming to me who are professional vegans,
right,
who are out there in the world, and they're like, I'm craving meat. I'm like, there's a lot of us out there who go through changes in our bodies, but how do you begin to understand and make a decision? Like, I've committed to a certain way of eating. Is this craving something I should honor and follow, or is it something I need to avoid and my body is asking for healing? So every craving is asking for some kind of balance. That's it. It's a message from your body that something needs balance. And those 4 root causes that I alluded to, there's bacterial, nutritional, emotional, and physical. So the bacterial, we talked about 10 times more bacterial cells in your body than human cells. And those bacteria, if they start to become predominantly things like yeasts and candida, those suckers crave sugar.
Right.
And they communicate with your brain and your body via the vagus nerve, via your nervous system. They tell you to go to the refrigerator and get the ice cream out.
Right.
It's pretty remarkable. But there will be a lot of other symptoms, and there will be signs that you have bacterial overgrowth. Digestive trouble, skin outbreaks, exhaustion, fatigue, headaches. So if those things are accompanying your symptoms, then you really need to look at avoiding sugar and not indulging in those cravings because you have some real bacterial balancing to do.
Right.
Now, nutritional craving, from my own experience, what I was going through was I was totally depleted. You know, it took a while. It took a lot of blood tests and some very specific, specialist doctors to figure out that my thyroid was starting to get weak, that I had low iron. You know, I always had low iron, so that wasn't really an indicator. But I tried for over a year to heal my body in the vegan framework, and it didn't work. And I was still craving meat. In that case, once I started adding the animal protein, my body started correcting itself. My menstrual cycle went back to every 26, 28 days from 14 days, which was crazy. So in that case, following that craving healed me. But it took quite a lot of discovery and a long time to figure out that that's what the issue was. Right. And it's all this judgment. It's all these rules. It's all this, how we define ourselves by our diets that keeps us from being curious and finding the answer. So we really need some non-judgmental communities like what you've got going here, a place to come to ask the questions and talk with other people who are interested in finding out their truth.
I think what I'm hearing from you is that your cravings are really a conversation that your body is having with you. So it's not exactly an exact truth. Like when your craving says, I need sugar, it doesn't mean that you absolutely need sugar for your well-being at that moment. It's just a conversation. So maybe to be curious about it and to talk back and to do the research and to get the blood work or read the book or seek out people that have been through it before. I really like that. I think that that's a really great message. Because
and for someone who does meditation as you do, and I consider myself a beginning meditator, it's really an awareness practice. This whole thing, health, your body, living as a person that needs to eat, and trying to figure out what those cravings mean. It's just one big awareness practice. Like every time you have a craving, every time you eat, you just check in for a couple of seconds. Like, how do I feel right now?
Right.
What's going on emotionally? What happened 10 minutes ago that might be causing me to feel a certain way? Am I stressed? Did I get ticked off by somebody? What's the cause and effect? How do I reverse engineer all of this?
It's always the check-in. It's always the check yourself before you wreck yourself.
That's right.
Always. You have such a well of knowledge to share with the world. So I absolutely want everyone to go and find you on your website, alexandra-jamieson.com, but also to pick up the book, which will be linked in the video description, and it can be found wherever books are sold, all the big places. I don't have to say by name, but you know where they are. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. It's every time I talk to you, I learn something new, and that's a great insight to think about, even as your cravings as an opportunity to get to know yourself better and to check in with yourself and to really have that conversation and to grow from it as a catalyst for growth. I love it.
Nice. Thank you.
You can find all of Alex's links in the video description below. I highly recommend her brand new book, Women, Food, and Desire, and you can find that wherever books are sold. For more videos like these and lots of free goodies delivered straight to your inbox, remember to sign up for my newsletter at BEXLIFE.com or by clicking on your screen or the link below. I love you guys, and I will see you soon in another BEXLIFE video.